Hey everybody, welcome. This is in remembrance of Prince Rogers Nelson. 5 years since he passed away tragically at the age of 57. I just wanted to get on here and share some memories, share some thoughts. I hope you guys are watching. Um, yeah, no viewers yet, but we just started. Um, the first thing I wanted to say is it's hard to believe it's been 5 years. Time flies by so fast, but I think we've gotten some great things from the estate in the 5 years since Prince has passed. The Super Deluxe editions, Purple Rain, 1999, and then Sign of the Times. Hopefully, the rumor is that Diamonds and Pearls will come out later this fall. That's an unconfirmed rumor, but hopefully it's true. We got it from the French fan site Scopy, who's normally very reliable about that sort of thing. They predicted the release of Welcome to America, which of course is coming out in July, the unreleased 2011 album from Prince. Um, and they're predicting that Sign of the Times Super Deluxe will be out in the fall, possibly November. So that's the rumor as of right now from the estate. But as I was saying, we got the Super Deluxe editions. We also got Piano and a Microphone 1983, the awesome, albeit short, rehearsal from 1983, where he's working out um, several iconic songs on the piano in an intimate rehearsal, just him on the piano with the microphone. So that was a great first posthumous release. Then we got Originals, which is my second favorite posthumous release, I think, overall. Some great Prince versions of well known songs that he gave to other artists. Of course, the one that comes to mind today is Nothing Compares to You. A great version with Prince on lead vocals and Paul Peterson and Susanna Melvoin on backing vocals. Um, what else have we gotten from the estate? We've gotten quite a few really good things. Of course, Son of the Time Super Deluxe was the latest to come out, and that's a real uh, daunting, real intimidating set to take on. I still haven't gotten all the way through all the material, but hopefully in another month or two, I'll be able to do that, and we might have a Purple Nights podcast for you guys on Sign of the Times Super Deluxe. So my point on bringing all this up is to say that I'm very appreciative and very grateful to the Prince estate for what they've given us the past 5 years, and Welcome to America just continues um, their habit of giving to the fans, um, and I hope we continue to see um, two to three main releases per year from the estate. Of course, we've also got The Truth on standalone vinyl for Record Store Day in June on June 12th. I'm looking forward to getting that as well. So, very grateful to the estate, very appreciative for everything they've given us the past 5 years. Um, I guess the first memory I could start with is the most memorable, personally for me, is July 26th, 2014, at Paisley Park, um, with my sister Paula and our friend Chris, and also several of my Facebook friends. I know Tanis Ross was there. I remember Tanis. Um, there had to be some others I'm forgetting at the moment, but yeah, that night, uh, the Nashville-born jazz singer Candace Springs was Prince's guest at Paisley Park and performed a set with Andrew Goucher on bass, John Blackwell on drums. Um, uh, Candace herself was on keys, and Prince was standing to my right up against the wall. This is in the NPG Music Club room, which is a smaller lounge area off the main Love for One Another stage at Paisley Park. Um, and he was standing to my right up against the wall, um, sort of clapping along and singing along and playing a cabasa, which is a handheld percussion instrument similar to a maraca, but not quite. You hold it with one hand and then use the other hand to manipulate the shaker part of the instrument. So he was playing that, and he caught me out of the corner of his eye, and before I knew it, he slid over and was less than 2 feet, probably a foot away from me, standing there offering me the cabasa, and I really wasn't registering what was going on in that moment. I was certainly in shock, to say the least, and I thought he was offering it to me to play, um, and then he was going to take it back. But I only learned later from people that he was actually offering me the instrument to keep uh, as sort of a memento uh, of the occasion of meeting him. But I just stood there, sitting in my wheelchair, looking at Prince, smiling, grinning like an idiot, and inside my mind was racing. I was thinking about my cerebral palsy and my how it affects my fine motor skills, and my hands don't really work the best. So I was feeling really self-conscious. Should I take the instrument? Shouldn't I? If I take the instrument, will I be able to play it with my hands without looking awkward or clumsy or foolish in front of Prince? So all these thoughts were going on in my head, and I just, sat there and smiled and thought to myself, no, it's not really worth the risk. And also, I was asking myself if I should um, speak up and try and talk to Prince over the music, because, of course, in this moment, Candace was performing, so the music was pretty loud. But I made pretty much the split second decision to say no, I won't risk yelling because I don't want to risk, um, upsetting Prince or frightening him or, scaring him off. So I thought, no, I'm not going to yell over the music. I'm not going to take the instrument. So I just sort of sat there and smiled at him, and he smiled back. And then I thought, well, what else should I do? So I looked behind me to my right, and my sister was there. And I sort of looked in my sister's direction, like, gee, what should I do? And Prince caught my glance at my sister, and he followed my glance. So he looked at my sister and offered her the kibasa, and she was just as stunned as I was. She wasn't sure what to say or how to react. So she just kind of sat there too, and for a few seconds, and after a few seconds, Prince just sort of shrugged and walked away. So that was it, and it was all a matter of maybe 20 seconds altogether. So all this was going on within the span of 20 seconds, and it takes much longer than that, obviously, to describe what was going on, physically as well as in our heads. But yeah, it happened really fast. And in the moment, I remember thinking to myself, um, first I asked myself, was this my only chance? Did I blow my only chance at talking to Prince? Because it's something I had wanted to do ever since I was a 12-year-old struggling with depression and listening to Prince's music as a means of escape and relief as far as getting out of my own head and away from my depression and thoughts of um, unworthiness and ugliness and darkness. And so, yeah, um, yeah, it was something I'd wanted to do for that long, for that many years. And I kept thinking to myself, did I blow my only chance? Did I blow my only chance? And I try to consciously not dwell on negative thoughts and try and shift them to positive thoughts so they won't so they won't cause me any unnecessary worry or grief or any of that. So I shifted my thoughts, almost immediately, and I thought, no, there'll be another time. This is only one time. This is only one opportunity. There'll be another opportunity. I know there will because I've talked to God. I've prayed to God. God knows my dream of talking to Prince and holding a conversation with him and getting to know him as a person. There'll be another opportunity. There'll be another chance. So don't worry about it. And then, of course, you know, a little shy of 2 years later, um, Prince passed away. So that really was my one and only chance to interact with him, which I did, and I'm very grateful for. But it obviously wasn't meant to be. But that interaction on July 26, 2014, at Paisley Park was very, very special. And I now realize that it was a blessing and it was a gift from God and it was a fulfillment of my dream that I had had since age 12 to meet Prince. But, they always say sometimes things don't happen the way you want them to. But I'm just grateful that it happened at all. And yeah, so that's my fondest Prince memory. Um, is from 2014 when I actually met Prince. So that was wonderful. Um, and sure, I have regrets about not taking the Kabasa, not speaking up, you know, trying to talk to Prince, but I knew then and I know now that it wasn't the appropriate circumstance um, to try to do either one of those things. So in retrospect, I just look at it from a place of gratitude, and like I say, I'm glad that it happened at all. So that's what I'm grateful for, and that's what I carry with me. Um, Another great Prince memory of mine, um, and I'm gonna sort of combine two of them because they took place in childhood and they're pretty much identical experiences, but also um, listening to the Purple Rain LP um, on the record player in my room until the needle pretty much wore out um, on the record. That's really when I became a fan at um, 4 years old. My fandom was pretty much cemented then, but of course, my fandom started the year before when I was 3 years old, and the single Little Red Corvette was popular on the radio. That's my first conscious memory of Prince and actually hearing him was Little Red Corvette on the radio. But my fandom was cemented listening to the Purple Rain LP um, at 40 years old. And then another vinyl listening experience that I remember is the following year when I was 5 years old. I got the 7-inch record. We also call them 45s. Us old timers call them 45s. But I had the 7-inch record for Raspberry Beret with the B side of She's Always in My Hair. And to this day, that's my favorite B side, in part because it was the first B side that I had ever heard from Prince. And being that young at that time, I was unaware of the concept of B sides, so I didn't realize that Prince had, a bunch of these songs that weren't even on albums and they were exclusive to the records, and I had no idea. So when I first heard She's Always in My Hair when I was 5 years old, um, it blew my little mind wide open. So yeah, so that's another memory, listening to Prince on vinyl when I was very, very young, and just the experience of hearing that music and those songs for the first time is a memory that I'll never forget. Um, Another really important memory to me is the very first concert that I went to um, on April 29th, 2002, in Seattle, Washington. at the Paramount Theater. It was a One Night Alone tour show. And it was my very first concert ever by any artist. And I remember it was extra special because as part of the MPG Music Club at the time, Prince allowed exclusive access to club members for the sound checks before the actual concert itself. So my sister and I um, sat on the wheelchair accessible end of the auditorium or the arena or whatever you want to call it, auditorium, I suppose. Um, we sat on the wheelchair accessible end, and everybody else from the MPG Music Club was sitting on the exact opposite end of the theater. Um, so we were the only two sitting on that side during the sound check. And I remember the first song that Prince and the band launched into for the sound check was the song Peach. And it was just absolutely mind blowing again, the experience of, of seeing Prince live and hearing the band actually play, right in front of you. We were in the first row. I forgot to mention the first row off to the right side. So we were right the right stack of speakers was right in front of us. Um, so it was actually vibrating our hair and our faces and our clothes. Um, so it felt like we were in a windstorm um, when they were playing. But I was with my sister, and my sister and I were just we were first of all we were amped up beyond belief. The adrenaline was flowing, and then we it was surreal. We couldn't believe it, or at least I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe where I was, what I was experiencing, and I remember after that first song, Peach, was done. Prince looked over in our direction and asked if that was too loud for us, and at the time, again, it didn't even register that he was talking to me or he was talking to us, my sister, me and my sister. It kind of went over my head that he was talking to us, but in retrospect, I know that he had to be talking to us because we were the only ones on that side of the theater. Um, so, um, yeah, he was talking to us, and we were. He was like, "Was that too loud for you?" And we were like, "No, no, it's great." So that's another great memory I have. And at that same sound check, he actually played a snippet of Michael Jackson's Billie Jean, and I know a couple of my friends, Michael Dean and Dorothy Anthony, from the Seattle area that were there in the audience will remember him playing a snippet of Billie Jean on the keyboards in the sound check. So that was a great, great memory. And the show itself was tremendous. I consider myself very, very lucky to have my first concert experience, my first Prince tour experience to be the One Night Alone tour. Because looking back, I think it was one of his best tours that he ever did. So I'm very grateful that that was my first show. Um, it's tremendous. The only negative thing I have to say about it is that on bootlegs, it seems like every other show from the One Night Alone tour is circulating on bootlegs, except for the Seattle show at the Paramount Theater. So I've been looking for years and years trying to find audio of the Seattle show uh, to listen to and relive that first concert experience. But it's one of the only shows on the tour that isn't circulating on bootleg. So I'm very kind of disappointed in that. But hopefully, in years to come, hopefully it'll surface one day. I'm hoping. So yeah, and as far as live performances, another um, tremendous memory that I have is in October of 2009. I went to Paisley Park and I took my cousin Molly with me, and again we sat in the front row. And I remember I was having more fun watching Molly's reactions and reacting to her reactions than I was actually listening to the music. I mean, I loved the music, don't get me wrong. The music and the performances were outstanding. Prince was in rare form. He was very, very playful, very, very in the zone, as they say, that night in October of 2009. But the reaction of my cousin Molly just being so close up, you know, watching him taking it all in at Paisley Park, no less, was um, great and so fun. And her reaction just made me smile and laugh. And I remember that was one of the greatest nights of my life, I would say, was that October of 2009 concert at Paisley Park with my cousin Molly. So there's another great memory. And one another memory of a live performance that just occurred to me was the very last time I saw Prince in person was January 21st of 2016. Of course, that's the notorious piano and a microphone gala event at Paisley Park. Now, I only attended the first show, the 7 p.m. show, and I know of several people that attended both shows from that night, um, from all over the country and all over the world. Um, People came in and attended that gala event. Um, but I remember I went there with my dad to the 7 p.m. show, and we were both just mesmerized at how intimate it was and how revealing Prince's stories were. Because you got to remember, if you've heard anything about, especially the early show that night, it was basically Prince's autobiography played out on stage with just him and a piano and a microphone and talking about the earliest childhood memory of his mother's eyes, all the way up to present day, through stories and songs. So it was really intimate and really powerful to be in the presence of that kind of energy, and that the way that Prince opened up and talked about his life in a way that none of us ever thought we'd be privy to. So I remember that um, very distinctly. And of course, I know it was professionally recorded. The audio was professionally recorded, and it was also professionally filmed for a potential DVD or Blu ray release. So that is basically the number one item at the top of my Prince list as I record this now in April of 2021 is Piano and a Microphone 2016. Um, any combination of the Paisley Park Gala event or the Australian shows or the last two shows in Atlanta, any combination of those in any combination of audio and or video would be my top wish to receive as a as an album slash DVD set from the estate. So I hope um, some of the powers that be are hopefully watching this, if not live, um, after the fact, hopefully, because I'm planning to post this on YouTube as well on the Purple Knights Podcast YouTube channel. So, you guys that are watching on YouTube right now, after the fact, thank you. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. Um, yeah, so the gala event was another really significant memory um, in my history with Prince, and just using the day today to reflect and show appreciation for so many memories that I've had with Prince. I can't really remember them all or really count them or really, quantify what Prince means to me. Um, but today is just to sort of share just a little bit with you about the impact that he had on my life. And hopefully, my goal was to interact with several of you um, and hear your memories and your thoughts and see what he meant to you as well. Um, but let me just check. I don't think there have been any viewers. It's a little over 33 minutes into the broadcast right now, and there are no viewers. Maybe this was a bad time to do this at 3 o'clock Central Time, but if you're watching after the fact, I appreciate it. Um, yeah, so I might end this sooner than I thought. I gave myself 2 hours just in case there was a lot of interaction and a lot of uh, people sharing their own memories and things. But um, yeah, I'll wrap it up here shortly, and I'll just say that Prince, if I could talk to you for a second, if you're listening or if you're watching from up there, um, thank you so much. The impact you've had on my life and that you continue to have on my life is immeasurable. It's deep, it's profound, and I just thank you for everything you did and everything you gave to the world and to people like me, to your fans, to your supporters. I know you don't like the word fans because it's short for fanatic, so I'll say to your friends, to your family, because I really do feel like you created a family here on Earth, amongst your admirers and supporters. Um, there are some really great people that I've met over the years because of our common interest in your music. So I'd like to take some time out to acknowledge some of those people. Uh, First of all, Mercy Rose, if you're watching this, um, thank you so much. I love you. You're a great friend. I'm glad to know you, and hopefully, I'll be in Europe one day and we can meet up and hang out and share stories about Prince and Liverpool and all kinds of other topics. Thank you so much. Um, to my friend Jackie, if you're watching this, Jackie, thank you, first of all, for watching this. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for being there. Um, yeah, um, just thank you so much for listening to me when when I was going through hard times, and thank you for sharing the joy of Prince music with me, and thank you for participating in my podcast over the years. We've had great times, we've had great discussions, and I always look forward to interacting with you. And so, thank you for watching. Sarita Williams, who is not on Facebook, but who I met at the gala event in January 2016. She sat next to my dad and me, um, and she's a friend on Twitter. I don't hear from her very often, but when I do, it always puts a smile on my face. Um, so thank you to Sarita. Let's see, who else do I want to mention? My man Raymond J. Hansen. I love you. You're my brother, your family. Uh, Thank you so much for going on this wild ride of a journey with me through Prince's music. And I'm so grateful that we have been there for each other in good times and in not so good times. I love you. Um, Thank you so much. Um, there's got to be people I'm forgetting. Um, but I just wanted to say thank you to a few people. Oh, I've got to mention Dwayne Tudall, the great Dwayne Tudall, who's written now two must-have books on Prince's studio sessions. Of course, the one from several years ago is Purple Rain, um, Prince and the Purple Rain era studio sessions. If you haven't read it, which I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you probably have read the book or probably own it yourself. But if you haven't read it by chance, seek it out. It's one of the best, most essential Prince books ever written, and he's following that up with Prince and the Parade and Son of the Times era studio sessions coming out on Prince's birthday, June 7th. I've already got mine on pre-order. Um, but anyway, thank you, Dwayne, for all the work that you do, not only with your books, but also on behalf of the Prince estate. You've done some great work for the special deluxe editions that they've put out, so thank you for that. Um, and also thank you for your friendship and your support. There have been a few rocky times the past few years with me trying to write a book, trying to write a memoir, and Dwayne, you've been very supportive um, throughout all the ups and downs with that. So I thank you very much. Um, Angie Gumarevic, I hope I'm saying that right. Um, you're one of my you're one of my good friends too. We don't talk often, but when we do, it's always a lot of fun, and you make me laugh, and you make me think. Uh, so thank you very much for your friendship. Delphine Albright, if you're watching this, get a hold of me. I did get your private message earlier um, this afternoon, this morning. So um, if you're seeing this, get back to me. I'd love to hear from you. Um, who else am I forgetting? Kanisa Williams. Great, tremendous work that you do. Thank you so much for your support and your friendship. Erica Thompson, D'Angela Duff, Michael Dean, DJUMB on Twitter, Vault Curator on Twitter, um, Seth Everett, Dr. Funkenberry. There are just so many people that I know and that I love because of Prince, and I thank all of you. And if I'm if I'm forgetting anybody, please forgive me. I've got to mention my Australian friends, Claire Hennecum, Adam Rudiger, Corrine Eggleton. I love you guys. Um, yeah, there's just so many people that I can mention, but also people that have inspired my podcast. Mr. Michael Dean of PodcastJuice.net and the Prince Podcast. Um, Ernie Wiles, also known as Day Droppin'. Um, Big Sexy and Sack. Thank you guys so much. All you guys from Peach and Black, Captain, Rob S., Playa, Toe Jam. Um, all of you guys are just tremendous, tremendous people, and I'm so grateful and so blessed to know each and every one of you. And I thank you so much. And I hope today you're thinking of the positive memories, the love, the excitement, the creativity, the confidence, um, the music. Um, Prince just gave us so much. He gave us so much, and we should be so grateful that we lived on the earth at the same time that he did. So, um, coming up on 44 minutes, so I'm gonna say thank you all so much for watching, and if you have any Prince memories to share, get a hold of me on Facebook, facebook.com/ChrisJ80, or on Twitter at Artificial Age, or on the YouTube channel for the Purple Knights podcast. Thank you so much. I'll keep in touch and see you later. Thank you, Prince. We love you.